Gee, I got 3 messages in Discord. What could they be?
I don't know. Let's see. And we are live. What is going
Ooh.
on, everybody? So far, there's hardly anybody hanging around. Anything going on tonight special that I didn't know about? Or is YouTube vape shows going to start getting banned now?
I think Fidalgo went live in his bathtub, mate.
Oh, well, shit, that would do it. That would do it right there, you know. Where is that stream? I need to find that one. Yeah.
And just save it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, good.
Let's see, swaggy.
Well, it's been a week, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's been a week.
And just saying, I remember saying last Saturday, oh, it's a weekend. It may be quiet. Then Sunday, about an hour before the football games start, fucking Cuomo. So what, asshole?
Oh, I know, right?
Oh.
You sit there going, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what? I think you just sort of put a nail in something then there, buddy.
Yeah, I was going to pick up a buddy of mine that was in town. He was parked over at the truck stop. I was going to bring him over and watch some football and drink some beers. And I get a message. I think Raven sent it to me. Raven Shadow sent me the link, and I open it up. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, nobody goes to church? He had to. Well, it's in New York. I mean, we know they're all
I was watching a video. Yeah, I was watching a video just before Mike's show, and it was Vaping with Vic, and he was talking about the bailout.
Yes, I watched that earlier today. Yes.
Yeah, it's that strikes a little bit true, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing, I've been hearing it for a while now that the states combined are behind about $96 billion in loan payments to pay those back. Yeah, Mike DeWine from Ohio. Yeah, if anyone else wants to grab, I could probably grab some of the petition links, but I know there's other people with quicker keyboards out there. Because we got, and then Tuesday is Jersey's. It's a meeting. It's not even a hearing with their task force, which will turn into a strike force, which will be like a Gestapo.
The vape po-po.
Yeah, they'll be kicking in. They'll be kicking in doors. Taking your mech mods, and because they're going everything. They're going hardware. They're going batteries. They're going coils. They're doing everything they possibly can in Jersey.
What are you in for? What are you in for? Vanilla custard and a purge.
Well, here's the thing about Jersey, though. Steve Sweeney, the head of the the leading senator or whatever is pushing this thing. I have his fucking address, and if he wants it released to everybody in the vape community, we're gonna have a party on his front lawn. He needs to knock it the fuck off. He lives 10 minutes. He lives about 10 minutes from where I used to live in Jersey. I know who the fuck he is.
My daughter lives in Jersey.
I have friends that went to high school with him.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for us in Australia watching what's going on. Yeah, it really is, because like we don't have a dog in the fight, so it's hard for us to comment. All we've got to, all we can really do.
You will have a dog in the fight.
Yeah. Well, we do really, because our government looks to the US rather than looking to the UK, and what's happening over there is starting to happen over here with media rubbish and stuff like that as well. So, I mean, we don't have the MSA or anything like that over here, but it's a flow down effect to pretty much lots of countries in the world that, and it will have, and not to mention what's happening over in India, as we were talking about just before the show. It's going to have a massive, massive blowback on the whole industry.
Yeah, let me go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's really sad is the fact that the politicians just don't give a damn about the people. They're supposed to be there to serve the people, okay? And they don't.
They're there to serve their own interests. Come on.
Greedy. Yeah, they're greedy bastards that are just in for the money. And
yeah, I don't care if you're.
But so what, Steve-O? So what?
Yeah,
so what, exactly. Yeah, I don't care if you're a town councilman, a city councilman in a big city, a county alderman or whatever.
Here's their so what?
Or all the way up. They don't give a fuck.
Here's their so what? I vape, I vote.
That's right.
So there's your so what right there.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of them that are committing political suicide here, and I'm trying to wrap my head around why they would pretty much ruin their political career unless the kickback they're getting is well enough that they can just say fuck it and be done.
Yeah, fuck it, I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's telling me right there that there's definitely, the shit even that we're not even being able to uncover yet, but we're uncovering a lot real fast. So they're gonna have to really dig that shit deep and maybe set it on fire so we don't find it.
Well, I mean, look, looking on a brighter side of things, and I'm trying to look at the positive, is there right now there are more vapors that are involved in advocacy than there ever has been before.
Oh yeah,
So, that's an upside to it.
Yeah.
But the drama is, and I watched another video during the week, and the guy, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, but he summed it up perfectly, and it was advocacy burnout. Because I don't know about you, Frank, but I know I've seen on Facebook feeds and numerous things. A lot of people are going to come out really hard, and they're going to burn themselves out. You've got to have a little break.
You got to step away when you start feeling that way. Yep. Turn off fucking Twitter. Turn off Instagram. Turn off Facebook. Go to the bar. Go watch a ball game. Go do something. Just get away from it for a day, and then come right back strong again.
Yep. Paul's in the house. G'day, Paul. How are you, mate?
We got your back while that's going on. It's like we all understand it because we need everybody to be fresh. When we're in the trenches now, but when we actually had that opportunity to take our shots on the front line, we need everyone to be sharp and bright.
I've done that, man. I went ballistic with every single petition out there that got posted, and it might have been probably posted 100 times more by a bunch of different people, but I didn't care. I just went in and did it all over again. So. Yeah,
look, I mean, it's important that everyone gets in on it, but it's also important to wind down from it. Otherwise, your brain will explode just with the sheer amount of advocacy that's going on. And look, it's awesome. It really is, because people are actually standing up for, what they believe in, and vapors are owning polls all over the place, which is great. They just owned, and it's great. But I mean, how much a poll does, I don't know. Signatures, but it's a little thing, and it's only a little thing. But if you throw in a heap of little things, then it makes a big thing, and that's what I hope is happening.
What I'm starting to see over the last, I would say, 3 days, probably since the India thing broke, was some of the news outlets, I don't know, maybe Bloomberg's checks are bouncing or something, but they're actually starting to talk the other side. They're actually ones that, like in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, that before, like the Philadelphia Inquirer, I was pissed at them. I used to work for them when I was a kid. Yep. I used to sell subscriptions to their newspaper door to door. And they would not mention anything about the THC carts, anything about the vitamin E acid, none of it. It was just vaping is causing all these people to get sick and die. And I'm like, you're full of shit. You're only telling half the story. You are lying by by omission. Lying by omission, yep. Exactly. And I'm like, this is bullshit. You can't have this. And now all of a sudden, I just saw it today on Twitter. I noticed it on Facebook, but I saw on Twitter a couple of articles that were from the Inquirer, and they had both sides. They had more of, they talked about the real causes, and now they're saying about how this isn't big tobacco trying to entice kids to vape. Because actually they're telling the fucking truth. And I'm just like, we need that story to get into, let's face it, these politicians, it's not that we have to tell them. They know. They just don't want. They don't care.
Well, the media.
They're not trying to hide the corruption now. So like Cuomo was saying, so what? Just because he would have been bleeped if he would have said "fuck you." And that's basically what it comes down to. That was his way of saying "fuck you."
Mm. But when it comes down to it, even if which story do you think the media are going to run with, that vaping is hurting people or vaping is safer? What sells more?
Exactly.
So even though now the truth is getting out there and the story's slowly correcting, it's not getting the same coverage that Death and Carnage are getting. And I mean, but over here in Australia, they are still rolling with vaping is killing people. They haven't even, there's very few news outlets that have actually, come out and said, oh, no, it's actually tainted black market drug dealers' cartridges. They've totally missed that. There was a letter going around that I think Reese from Clouded Visions put out, which was a really, good dig at the media, saying that, they've got to cover, they've got a duty to cover the truth.
Yeah.
Since they put all the crap out there, they've now got a duty to cover the truth, but they're just not bothering. No. It doesn't get clicks, it doesn't get views. And it's sad that most of the media over here in Australia tend to get their stories directly from the internet. And then just basically reproduce them. It's there's no such thing as real journalism anymore, where they go and find a story and then get all the facts and report on just the facts, not the clickbait bullshit that's been touted.
Yeah, well, clickbait bullshit is what sells newspapers. Is what it's what advertisers want.
Well, a lot of people just read the headline. Oh, yeah, I know about that story. Yep, I know about that story.
They don't care about sending out the truth and telling you what's really going on.
And that's what fed into this hysteria. Is because news outlets that are, whether they're being paid by the states or whatever, Bloomberg, or however, they know how to just put in there, these people are dying from vaping. And then you go down to the 18th paragraph on the 17th page that tells you, oh, well, by the way, they bought them from their drug dealer down the street. And,
Yep. And Paul's exactly right. Fake news makes money.
Well, it does.
Sensational news. If they had a true story that was just as sensational, they'd be printing it up, but they don't. Yeah. So they just make it up as they go along. And it's sad
we could create our own fake news. We could say, vaping will add 6 inches to your penis.
I actually said to Tam earlier on, since vaping's so bad, do you think we could start a campaign that smoking is a gateway to vaping?
Yeah.
Is that why you're going to go with blueberries, like the blue pill? Is that it?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, have
vaping blueberries.
Viagra berries.
I like it.
I agree with what Hobag says, is healthy people are not profitable for big pharma either.
Yeah, but I mean, do we want to go into India and talk about India and ramifications?
Yeah, because a lot of people think of India just being, in the U.S. Oh, that's just some place over there. Some of the people come over here and run all the hotels and the convenience stores. But unfortunately, this is going to be a global effect, and not just because they did the vaping ban there and it's just going to create more vaping bans. It's going to affect us. Now, I definitely will show that, Rick Willoughby, because you're absolutely correct.
It's true. It's true. I've seen it myself. Look.
That's not fake news. Exactly.
And it's just not ladies either.
The population is so vast. It's a huge economic flow.
Yeah, we're talking 42 million vapors are in India.
Yeah.
That is basically 50% of the world, 60% of the world market in vaping comes from India. That's now just been shut down by their government. You're going to have a lot of companies. We were talking about this before the stream started. You're going to have companies in Shenzhen that are going to consolidate to survive. Your smaller vape companies, I mean, we're not talking like tiny little, like Yacht Vape and these little ones. They're going to just disappear or just get absorbed. But like Vandy Vape and Hell Vape and Og Vape, these smaller companies are going to have to come together, or they're not going to make it because they just lost 60 to 70% of their income.
Well, margins on mods, they're probably okay. They're not awesome.
They're
but
not like e-liquid.
Yeah. So when you come down to it, you've got to look at them surviving, and if they're going to survive, they're going to have to pump the price. Development's going to slow down, innovation's going to slow down, simply because the market isn't there. But in the short term, they've got a shit ton of mods that they now are holding and can't sell.
Yeah. Well, let me answer KBN's question. KBN, there's roughly about 13 million in the U.S. If you add, there's about 5 to 6 million in Canada. So that gives you 19 million in North America. But yeah, in India, there's about 42 million vapors. Because India has a population of 1.3 billion people. And 70% of all adult males in India are still regular smokers. So they have hundreds of millions of smokers. And what was the number I heard? How many die each year? It's like, we have 480,000 here. It's way more than that over there. It's like, in the millions.
Back in just 2 secs, there's a puppy whining at the door.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I didn't even shout out the chat yet. We got James Capozzi out there, KBM Fidalgo, what's up? Zippy's out there. Tam, I hope you're feeling better, hon. I know you needed a break. Goose Girl, I see you out there. Labworks, he lost 50 grand right off the bat out of India. I believe that. Hobag's out there. Stevie J, I think it's the first time I've seen you in this chat. Ronnie's out there. Going on Ronnie Rasmussen. VSO, Shane, he was the first one in. Hopefully he comes back because we're talking some blueberries here in a little bit. And obviously one of the ones that we have to talk about is VSO Blueberry. Leon is in the chat.
Wouldn't you know it? Chefs has sold out now for the last month. I can't get my hands on it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in the chat that I invited over.
Nice.
No, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
More
I do want to mention one thing with the VSO Flavours. I haven't done a lot of tests. I got all the ones that chefs have. The lids do not travel well, as in the original twist top lids that come with the VSO Flavours. They're kind of unique, but of the ones that I got from chefs, more than half of them leaked, and they were all taped up. So, it is what it is, and you do get leakage, but yeah, they don't travel well on planes from my experience. But
Shane's
that's all right.
He's fixed
you
them.
fixed them? You're a legend, Shane. Thank you.
Yeah, Paul says more than 10 million people in India die each year from smoking-related illnesses, and I totally believe that. Addie Tooney made it into the chat. What's going on, Addie? Miguel Ortiz. Pup Man, I don't think I mentioned you earlier. I saw Beauty and the Vape, Christine out there earlier. She's been going live lately, last couple of days, talking about everything, and she's always been someone. She advocated before advocating became cool. That's basically what I can say about that. She's been an advocate now for a couple of years I've known her, and I know she did it well before then. Yeah, Addie's putting all the links out there, and I know a lot of people.
Click on them all, people.
This is the time where you really need, to pay attention to these links and get them out there because, everybody.
Actually, Addie, if you can get me a full copy of your link text, I'd really love to post it in ELR because I know you must have a text file or something there. If you can get that to me, mate, I'd really appreciate it because you have far more than I have. And I'd love to just start up a thread and just post them all in there and say, go nuts, people. Which, getting them out there is super important.
Yeah. And
so,
what's funny, how we still have Kind Ground's banner up? I still get a couple donations every week that I get emails for. Even though I don't know if they still think they're going to win something, but it doesn't mean, it's like, it's not been nothing big, $5 here, $10 there, but it's nice. It's nice to still see it, though.
Yeah, it's been nice to see Kind Ground come back and come around.
Well, he said today he's in remission.
Awesome.
That's
great. That's fantastic news, man.
I was like, kick-ass awesome.
Yep.
I already got a head start on Nevada. and contacted the governor's office yesterday. And I called, and they were very polite to me. I just gave them a little brief story, and she said she would, get the message to him, and told me thank you, asked for my number, my name, what zip code I was in. Completely different response from the White House. A lot more.
Well, it's awesome that they didn't say so what too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
That's
just,
awesome.
they just talked to me. Well, nobody's flooding them yet because Nevada is like, we're a rebel state.
Well,
So
Actually, I saw the finished signed document for Michigan as well, and they've removed the 4 flavor trafficking provision they had in there.
Yeah.
And there's a loophole for zero nic. It's not included in their flavor ban so long as it doesn't have a picture of, say, a strawberry or whatever on the label. So in that respect, then they can buy, as far as I'm aware, and just reading my take on the document is that they'll be able to buy nic shots and zero nic and throw them together.
That's news to me, but
yeah, I looked through it, and it actually specifies nicotine flavored e-juice as having the flavor restriction. They also put a definition of vapor product or e-liquid, but they don't mention a restriction on flavors for 0 milligram, provided that it has no pictures of what's inside it. Like say if you had a label with strawberries and kiwi and a pineapple or something on it, they're not allowed to have that. But I think it was mentioned by I think it might have been Greg Conley.
Okay, yeah.
I think he mentioned it as well, which is pretty cool. But I don't have the link handy.
Yeah.
I can dig it up and pop it in. If anyone would like to read it, I'll find it.
Throw it out in the chat.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not ideal, but it's better than the poke in the eye with a burning stick, really, isn't it? So.
I mean, it's still. I mean, it was sad seeing one of the guys who's in New York who's been doing a ton of work, Matthew Salter. He lives up in like the upper north. They call it the North Country in New York, like going up towards the Quebec border, and he manages like 4 or 5 vape shops, and he's in one, and everything behind him is just empty shelves. And he had the sign, they were getting ready to close up, and he was saying about how the people just, they had this look of despair that their shops are gone. They're not coming back.
Yeah.
Whether it's a 90-day or it could be,
doesn't it could be a week. It's enough.
Yeah. In this industry, a week is about all it takes.
And South Australia bring that. Yeah, as Paul said, South Australia bring in the no online sales as of 1st of October. So
Simon, do you have an email that you can put out there to Addy so he can send you the list?
Yeah, that's horrible.
If you can shoot it to me on ELR, Addy, just Waftam on ELR, mate. That'd be awesome if you're in there.
He probably is. What's Shane say?
But, yeah, so the one in South Australia is the thing that irritates me most about this crap in South Australia and in Australia in general is that, well, we're not allowed to sell juice with nic in it. So how can that possibly translate to a tobacco product? And they've brought in the rules in South Australia that because you can't buy a packet of smokes online and they've now applied that to all vapor products. So if we can't have nicotine in juice off the shelf, how can we possibly class a 0 milligram nicotine juice as a tobacco product? It's quite bizarre. And that long bow that they're drawing to say, well, you can add nicotine to it. Sure you can, but you have to have a prescription and you can bring it in under the TGA's personal import scheme.
Yeah.
No more than 3 months supply at a time. So you know, the stuff they're selling in the shops is not a tobacco product, yet they're being limited as if it was a packet of cigarettes. It is just beyond belief. It's caused a lot of, you know, probably one of the biggest suppliers in Australia has now moved to Melbourne, which is about 200 k's from me, makes it a little bit easier for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the TGA pulled their head out of their butts, as Paul said, you know, they won't accept vaping as an NRT, as in nicotine replacement.
Yeah.
So, you know, I remember seeing an interview with the head of the TGA. It was on 60 Minutes, I think, and he was saying his analogy was that if you're running across the road, there's a truck and a car, and
Which
vaping was the car. Yeah, vaping was the car. But no, wait for it, because he totally flips it. Vaping was the car and smoking was the truck. Wouldn't you rather get hit by neither of them?
It kind of sounds like the same analogy that Cuomo used. Would you rather get hit with would you rather hit yourself with a metal pipe or hit yourself with a stick?
Yeah, well, the stick, quite obviously.
Yeah, he calls the stick the vaping and the metal pipe cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a good show, Adam. Rock on, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cloudy Blows asks, when was zero nicotine made from tobacco? It's not, obviously.
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
And that's why there's some loopholes where if you have a liquid, let's say you have a short pour like this. I thought this was a short pour. It actually turned out to be a flavor shot. It actually came from a Cypress. I got it in one of these goodie bags I got when I donated to Advocacy. It's actually pretty good, this Code Vapor stuff. That's what I got in here. And they sell, you can have basically your VGPG flavoring, and then they leave enough room in the bottle for your nicotine. But now the only problem with that in these cases is now they can say intended use because you left that room for the nicotine to go in.
Well, the upside is the 120 ml bottles actually hold 130 ml.
Right.
So you're good to short pour it to 120 mil
and throw in
and just say
throw in a nick shot.
Yeah. So, but I mean, look, it's going to require a bit of retooling for manufacturers and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And then there, of course, if it's a label with fruit on it, they're stuck under the deeming stuff and not being able to change anything.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's just like these manufacturers. There was the one manufacturer, Mr. E-Liquid out of
I saw
Grand
him.
Rapids.
He was pretty good actually.
Very well spoken. Dressed well, very professional, and that's basically what he was saying. He goes, "I'm not allowed to change anything because of the deeming regs."
I was thinking about that.
150,000 SKUs himself.
Yeah. I was thinking about that and what a vape shop could actually do, and is not change the label, but put a white label over the top of it, just like a shrink wrap label.
Yeah.
That's not actually changing the label. And Paul, I did hear that, Paul, as in all labels in Australia will have to be black and white. So, But I mean, if it came down to it and you owned a vape shop and you had supply of 0 milligram juice, which I would assume most do, you could probably just get a white shrink wrap label and pop it over with the name on it. And then you'd probably be okay with the stock that you had. I don't know. And I'm kind of reluctant to sort of comment on what's going on in the States, because while I'm in Australia and I watch it because it affects us, I don't vote there, and therefore is my right to comment sort of negated to a degree. Like, I have my own opinions, but as far as the solution goes, then I have an idea of what you could do. Whether it would actually get round what they're proposing, I don't know. But I mean,
I think the biggest thing is what it reminds me of is communism. It's not about the people. It's not about people's votes. or anything. The government's just making a call and going with it. It's like, hang on, wait a minute. That's not what this country was founded on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they need to turn around and look and listen to the people. You know, it's a democracy. It's not a freaking communist country.
Well, it's really starting to feel like the Soviet Union over here, especially when now you're even like even some of the red states are getting into the act. South Carolina is proposing a ban. You know, Florida, I'm not sure what the fuck color they are. They're like purple. Because sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're red. It all depends on who's in office. You know,
it doesn't matter.
They're all from
MSA money.
Yeah, they're all from New York anyway, and
it's all the MSA money.
Well, Florida though, Florida is not part of the MSA. They had a separate deal with the tobacco companies back in '98. They cut their own deal and told everyone else, "Kiss my ass." They're one of the 4 states that didn't get involved in the Master Settlement Agreement. But Florida's just doing it to look cool.
Yeah, it's.
They jumped off the bridge. Let's jump off the bridge with them.
Exactly. There's a reason why it's called Florida.
Are you reading the comments, you guys?
Yeah, I've sort of glanced at them a bit, but it's I always have trouble with that. But I've got focus. Focus. Yeah, well, that's a tough job for me. So yeah, it requires all my attention.
Up and everything. I'm ready. Let's go.
But yeah, Stevie.
Okay, Steve, because I remember I was hearing something about Florida was talking about only one city in Florida. Okay, well that's good. The state's not doing anything. That's good to hear. I know Texas, they're leaving it up to the cities themselves. I know San Antonio's got bigger problems right now. I think they're underwater. I think they need to worry about that more than they need to worry about strawberry kiwi.
But I would be vaping even if things were flooding. I'd have all my shit in a baggie. Now this is no joke. We went on a river float. I had this, and I had my juice and everything in a Ziploc slide look quart freezer bag stuck in a drink holder. I don't care that we're floating down a river, dude. You're not gonna stop me from vaping.
Yeah.
And I got a shitload of nicotine that I just got in today, and my freezer's got 500 ml bottles just stacked up. So
have you ever been like when you're a smoker, did you find that you never organised your shit? You grabbed your smokes and your lighter. Now you're going on a 2-day holiday. You take 16 mods and a litre of juice and 25 batteries.
I smoked for 34 years. My shit was a leather chrome lined cigar case.
You had one of them.
Cigarillos, not cigarettes.
Oh, okay.
Cigarettes were like, bleh.
You did little cigars,
started out with menthol Swisher sweet cigars.
Ooh.
And then I moved to actual real cigars because my husband and I would like to go sit outside and just like have a cigar. But the problem is I don't know how to just.
I used to enjoy cigars, but I'm afraid to even mess with them anymore since I started vaping.
I don't have just one or two.
I'm afraid to relapse.
Next thing I know, I'm smoking a $20 tin in 4 days, and it was just overkill. It was just overkill.
Yeah, cloudy blows. Yeah, exactly. It would be if they start doing short pours in the states right now that are getting the flavor bans, it would be they could go ahead and say intended use. But
I think in New York though it doesn't matter. I don't think the NIC comes into the New York.
No, New York is just everything.
Yeah. So I mean, in Michigan, you could probably have your bottle of 120 ml if you've always sold it in a bottle of 120 ml and short pour it because the bottle would be 130 ml anyway. So, I mean, it's in flux. No one really knows what's going to go down, but hopefully, there's some sense comes out of this in the long run. But it's government, so the chances of that happening are quite small.
Yeah,
so you asked about the torch smoke. I also had to have torch lighters, and the first thing we do before we leave the house is fill them.
Yes,
$2,000 fine, Stevie.
I did not hear anything about mods being included in the New York one. All I heard was e-liquid, not any hardware at all. Now Jersey's talking about hardware.
I contacted my daughter and I told her, don't vape in public. And she goes, why, what's going on? Now, she vapes 0 blended with 3. And she hadn't even been to a shop recently. And she's my daughter. She follows me on Facebook. This is how oblivious everybody outside of our little ring really is.
Well, see, I think a lot of the problem is that vapors have vapor friends, and they post to their vapor friends. What you've got to do is you've got to bring the people in on your Facebook, on your socials that are not vapors.
On your personal page.
Because the tough thing is if you're preaching to the converted, then you need to get the message out wider than that to people who are either non-vapors, because if you look at the erosion of personal choice that our government here in Australia, your governments over there in the US, what they are doing is pretty much invading your personal choice. And if they can do it for vaping, they can do it for orange juice, they can do it for breakfast cereal, they can do it for anything.
My point is that she vapes and she's unaware, and she's with me on Facebook as a family member. So that's how, and I've been saturating my personal page, and it's all public.
You sure she doesn't have you blocked?
I possibly can't. So people that sit in my chair now in the salon that have nothing to do with vaping, maybe have never smoked before, I give them the spiel and I say, if you see stuff on there that I put, please share this. Would you mind doing it? And after they hear it and they understand what's going on, they're like, yeah, of course. So I'm getting more shares that way, just by talking with people, because I do have to get the non-vaping community involved. But I told her, don't be surprised when you go to a shop and it's shut down. And she goes, well, I don't need it. I don't have to have it. But I said, just leave your hardware at home, just to be on the safe side. She's right in Jersey.
Well, see, over there, they're looking at banning vaping in restaurants and bars and whatnot. Since day one here in Victoria and a couple of other states, it's always been considered on par with smoking. So wherever you can't smoke, you cannot vape. You cannot vape in your car if you've got kids in there that are under the age of 16, I think it is. Just like you can't smoke in your car with kids under the age of 16.
Yeah, they started doing some of that here, but it's not a federal law. It's just like certain states.
Yeah, so I mean, it's always been like that here for a couple of years now. Well, I mean, probably 3 years now. And realistically, I don't have a problem with that. I know a lot of people do, but for me, I try to be a bit of a polite vapor, in that I don't chuck a big cloud in someone's face.
No,
right. It's and most people are quite considerate like that. But see, I think some of the problem is that they are equating the fact that you're vaping. I think it might have been Kume that said that, or someone in New York said that if someone took a hit on their mod in a restaurant, it might encourage someone to have a hit on their cigarette. Are you fucking kidding me?
you know what I do? I do blow clouds in people's faces. That's in designated smoking areas.
I don't even do that.
Kill the smell of the tobacco.
I do it then, because we have to go into certain designated smoking areas and stuff like that, and I'll blow the biggest fucking clouds I can. Ooh, that's strawberry.
Our manager as far as she goes, make sure you're not vaping right in front of the door, because she knows I will blow the last cloud out right before I come in between clients, because I run in and out. And I said that's not a problem, so I make it a point to step away, but. We do have like a little smoking bench with a little ashtray and stuff like that. And I'll sit down and they'll sit down and we look at each other, the smoker and the vapor. And I said, it'll blow over. And I said, does that bother you? And she goes, no, does this bother you? And I said, it doesn't smell good, but you sit there and do what you want to do. That's your choice. It's okay. This is a designated.
On that note, I went to a bar in Melbourne and they had a balcony. It was in a tall building. They had a balcony and they had a designated smoking area, which had a fucking line drawn on the balcony. right? So if you wanted to smoke or vape or whatever, you go into that area. There was no fucking magic force field to stop the smoke or the vapor hitting the fucking other people who were sitting out in the balcony. So what the fuck was that about? Absolutely ridiculous. You know, there's people out on the balcony who are not smoking, not vaping, but you had to stay behind, in this little area which had a fucking line on the floor saying you can smoke here, but 2 feet away you can't.
Yeah.
You sit there
We had a
going,
line in high school like that. We had a little triangle, a little rectangle we had to stand in.
like, did they invent something that I didn't know about that stops the fucking wind blowing smoke and vapor? You sit there going, are you fucking kidding me? That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Simon Addy's trying to send you a message. He doesn't know how to send it on ELR. Can you send?
That's
can
all
you,
right.
Can you find?
Yeah,
him
I'll send him one.
a message. There you go.
Yeah, easy.
No.
Yeah, Christine's absolutely right. We're talking about how we need to parent, but the government's made it where you can't parent because you can't discipline your kids.
Yeah.
Your kid gets out of hand. I know when I was a kid, if I got mouthy, I get everything but got my jaw broken. But nowadays, you can't do this shit. I remember, acting up in the grocery store when I was a kid and getting my ass beat, and the other moms, looking at my mom saying, "Good job."
Yeah, exactly.
Now they would look in horror and they'd be videoing it with their phones and putting it up on YouTube or putting it on Facebook, and then they'll call the cops.
Yep.
Yeah, Addy, I'll hit you up after the show, mate. Are you just tuny on ELR?
Let me look.
Hey, do you guys want to hear what my son hit me up with? Now, this is my son.
Uh-huh.
He sends me a text. He says, you make juice, right? And I said, no comment.
Yeah.
And I said,
no
you
comment.
can call me and discuss this.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
He calls me in the middle of doing his pool thing, playing pool. And he says, well, I thought if I wanted such and such, I'm going to call my mom. And I said to myself, what is such and such that you want? Well, he has someone that has been making his alternative liquid, shall I call them, for him for a year and a half. And I said, I won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I love you, but no. Especially with everything that's going on right now. I told him everything that was going on. I told him to be very careful, know what was being in it. And he goes, well, it hasn't bothered me in a year and a half. And I said, okay, just then stick to that person, but no. And that's my son. And yeah, I know how to do it. I'm not doing it. No way.
But over here, THC, CBD is all regulated.
Yeah.
It's so it's not really even a thing over here. I think it's 13 doctors in Australia are authorised to issue a script for CBD. So you sort of sit there. There's only 26 million of us.
I think it was PhDs after. I didn't even ask.
Couple 100,000.
But same deal. I mean, our health minister, who is, I think it was our health minister that said it. And I'm sure Paul will correct me if I'm incorrect, but he wants the medical marijuana industry in Australia. He wants Australia to grow marijuana for the rest of the world, yet it's fucking not even legal here. Right? Tasmania is the single biggest opium producer of medical opium in the world.
Really?
Something like 60% or 60 or 70% of the world's medically grown opium is grown in Tasmania.
Oh wow!
Thanks, Eddie. Got them. Cheers, mate.
Awesome.
So Australia is invested with pharma, or should I say, infested with pharma. So when it comes down to it, anything that protects that is most likely going to be carried by our government. I mean, the fact that they've come, you can get a license to grow marijuana from the government, yet the the sales in Australia are pretty much donuts because of the number of doctors that are authorised to actually write a script for you to use it. It's absolutely, because you used to be able to bring CBD in under the TGA personal import scheme, which is the same that we use to bring in nicotine.
Yeah.
Now with CBD at that particular point in time, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think you needed a prescription. Right. Then the TGA said, yep, CBD has a medical use. It's good. Now to get it at all, you have to have a prescription.
Yeah.
I only need
and you have to get a prescription from one of the doctors that's authorised to write a prescription.
Yeah.
Of which there are exactly 0 in the state that I live in. There's some in New South Wales and some in Queensland, but I'm pretty sure that's all of it. So the whole CBD THC thing is not really a thing here. I mean, obviously there's people backyard making CBD oils and stuff like that, but as far as vaping and all that sort of stuff is concerned, I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of uptake. And aside from that, I don't know, but I did read in an article on CBD that vaping CBD, as opposed to taking CBD sublingually, it's about 50% as effective. I don't know whether that's a correct number or not, but in which case you would think that probably vaping CBD, to get bang for your buck, you'd want to be just taking it.
Sublingually.
Yeah, there you go, Paul's. Sublingually, but there you go. Paul just gave me the correct number. 20 doctors around Australia who can write a prescription for CBD.
Okay.
Wow. So less than one doctor per million.
Wow. Yeah, that's that's a tall order for them doctors. Not that there's many people looking for scripts for CBD.
Australia's a big country. It's probably easier to just make your own.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad it's legal here because I just get isolate powder, mix it in the special oils, flavor it a little bit, and drop it under my tongue.
Yeah.
Although there was the Jenny, I can't remember her last name. She was making CBD oil for sick kids with epilepsy, providing it free to them, so at no charge. And she got pinged by the police and charged with cultivated drug dependence, being marijuana.
I believe it.
TJ has a question.
Hey,
we're talking about how great America it is. What is the easiest and cheapest way to get into DIY?
One shots. One shots.
Chefs has a ton of one shots from a lot of different mixers out of the U.S., like Folk Art and them. Mm-hmm. Wayne might be on there.
Yeah, well, he can. With Stevie J's over here, he can get them from ECX and get them from Liquid Barn.
Yep.
Liquid Barn, yeah. Does Nick River have one shots?
They might, but probably you're going to get a better selection at either Liquid Barn or ECX.
And I've been made aware of something that we're going to have to be really careful out there, guys. Nick River,
they've changed it this morning.
Released a line of oils.
They've changed it this morning, Steve. They've put up, if you have a oil soluble flavour in your cart, when you go to checkout, it pops out a pop-up saying your cart contains an oil based flavour that is not safe for vaping. Do you wish to proceed? So that's a good result from them.
Everybody out there, just be safe in DIY. Be careful about any oils, any flavorings, any funny additives. Like don't put it in there. Don't become the next person out there in the community.
In this climate right now, why the fuck would Nick River do that?
I think they're covering the CBD sublingual market. And it's a business plan, I think, to diversify
I get that,
a bit.
But you know what? Create a second site for it.
That was my feeling.
We don't need that right now.
Yeah, that was the point that I was bringing up. We, in the current climate, this is not something that needed to be done.
Okay, Nick Rivers carrying the Mullenberry one shot. So excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, one shots, Steve J, when you're talking one shots, there's a lot of flavors out there that you can use as a one shot. You know, like that aren't specifically designed as one shots, but taste really good as a single flavor.
Yeah.
But you know, the probably the easiest way to do it is to
This
say
one right
buy
here.
a custard.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Buy a custard or something like that, and just add a fruit over the top. You know, there's a lot of ways to do it. I mean, get yourself onto ELR, have a bit of a look around, and you know, there's there you go. VSO has some really good one shots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
VSO's
where
whole
do you
line.
get
Yeah,
the
website thing is
terminology?
starting.
I know
Yeah,
that
we
DIYFS
use-
has a starter kit that they have on sale right now. I saw them advertising it on
Here's another
Facebook.
flavor I've actually single flavor vaped. It's actually decent on its own, honeycomb.
Yeah.
I do know. Okay, so we tend to abbreviate a lot of things, unfortunately, for the new mixers that may be watching. So I've just put out the link there for e-liquid recipes is what it's
Yes.
called. We refer to it as ELR for those that don't know. We do use abbreviations.
Because we're lazy.
Yep, and then I will also throw the link out there for all the flavors as well. For you new mixers out there, just note that e-liquid recipes is free to use, and all the flavors you would need to purchase a subscription with that, because you're limited in what you can do with all the flavors. If you choose to use that as well, but those are a couple resources that we use out there in DIY when we're creating recipes. You've also got one as well that you're part of, Simon. That's in the UK. It's
in
called
the UK, vapingcommunity.co.uk. There's a calculator on there. Not as big as ELR by any stretch, but still some really good mixes in there as well.
Cloudy Blows asks, what difference with percentage in single and in a mix? When usually you're going to use a flavor a lot more if you're going to use it as a single flavor. Like when I do, which is rare, do single flavor testing because I'm lazy. I let everybody else do it and I just take their notes. But I'll usually test about 5% unless it's specified to go higher or lower. But like most of your flavors you're going to do like 5%, and then in a mix you may use that flavor at 1 or 2% depending on how you want to use it. If you want to use it as a main flavor and then build around it, like let's say a lemon meringue pie. You know, you want to have, you know, let's say you're going to have let's say you're going to use like the lemon meringue tart from Vape Trade. In a mix, you're going to use that maybe about 4%. When you would use it, probably about 7% as a single flavor if you're going to just vape it by itself. And then you're going to put, you know, maybe like, you know, something to build up on the crust, or add a little bit more lemon, or add a little bit more of a, you know, of a creamy note. You know, you're going to add maybe some, let's say some Flavor cream or some Flavor Art meringue or what have you. Leanna, you had your hand up.
Beauty in the Vape asked me a question. Who was that? Leanna's vaping, because due to my disabilities, I cannot DIY, so I would need to go the one-shot option. So the kit I was talking about was specifically for DIYing and actually getting into making your own recipes.
I think Liquid Barn have a few that you could use.
All you would need is a small scale, and when I say a small scale, you don't need anything big. This is the scale that I started out with. This is a Triton T3. It's relatively cheap. It's rechargeable. It's very sturdy. Just a scale. You need bottles, vegetable glycerin, PG, or depending on your allergies. If you have allergies to PG, there are other options out there available, and or your nicotine if you're going to be using that. And that's just basically all you need to get started with one shot.
So folks, I put a bunch of information out there to the vapingcommunity.co.uk. I've dropped the links for Bull City, dropped the link for chefs and stuff that have one shots to help you guys out there. So yeah, there you go. And if you guys ever have any questions, please feel free. It's easier if you tag us, you know, using @ or hashtag in our name, and you tag us. Then that way we'll be able to, you know, respond to you. We won't miss you guys. So, yeah, any questions you guys have, let us know. We're more than willing to help you guys out and give you a hand.
I don't know what your disabilities are that you have challenged or you are challenged with, but feel free to reach out to me on Messenger or through, friend me and direct message on Discord, whether platform that you are, and we can talk, get together in a Zoom or whatever, and we can discuss those challenges that you're facing and get to your best solution. Okay?
Grubby as well, Fidalgo. He's ticking away as Grubby does. He's and he is a fantastic guy too.
Does Fidalgo have his rubber ducky in the tub now?
He might be. I'm picturing a Bert and Ernie scenario. Rubber ducky.
You're the one.
Yes, Steve-O Zippy's asking if you could put up her link to her site.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm ready for some blueberries because I want
Yeah.
6 inches. Like, seriously.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready for this. She had me excited. I got my berry. Look at the size of this one right here.
Yeah. Just do this.
I want some big berries. So
I'm hearing bow waka wow wow.
I have 7 different blueberries, and I'm depending upon my mentors here to tell me what they think, and then I'll tell you what I think of the ones that I have used.
All right, Liana, Miguel says he's reached out to you on Facebook, but you haven't responded to him.
Oh, Liana.
Facebook Messenger? Okay,
Yeah.
was that today, Miguel? I apologize. Let me check because I haven't been on media today. I do doing hair from Tuesday to Saturday. Saturday is my busiest day. Come home, make dinner, and then I get on. And I haven't checked my my full messenger. I was working myself up through it. I apologize. I will definitely get back to you.
Miguel said it was last week. So.
It was last
No
week.
excuses. It's no excuses, Liana.
I never got it.
If you guys aren't friends, you may have to go look where it says people and stuff. You may have to find it there.
Okay, I'm Liana Hudspeth. I'm Liana, and the last name is Hudspeth. Friend me. I will friend you back. Like, I don't even know why that happened. Last week, I respond to all my messages. Ugh, that is not good. Let me look.
Well, right off the bat,
No matter.
I would say for someone starting out, there's 2 blueberries that if you're not going to get in one chest, if you're going to get individual flavors and start mixing, there's 2 blueberries you need to have right off the bat. VSO blueberry, and I know people are going to hate me for this one, but Flavor West blueberry. They're my 2 favorite blueberries that are the easiest to use. VSO blueberry to be a natural one, and the Flavor West when you're looking for more of a candy blueberry.
Since I haven't been able to get a hold of VSO Blueberry, my 2 go-tos are Vape Train Blueberry Jam and the Flavor West Blueberry.
Okay. How about you, Simon?
Yeah, I'm not I was speaking about this. I grabbed the VSO probably a week ago and haven't got to it. And Fidalgo saying medicine flower, I don't have that one. But blueberries for me have always been a bit of a love-hate sort of thing. I've never really successfully made a blueberry mix. So I'm hoping with the VSO that I can get up a nice blueberry ripple ice cream, which I reckon would be pretty tasty. But for me, I find I always tend to go that little bit too much on a blueberry and get slight floral notes. So I know that I have to back it off. But when I back it off, I still get a little bit florally. But, I'm hoping this one that VSO is going to, scratch that itch for me.
I do not see Miguel in the messenger list. Just saying. Is your name the same here as it is there? Is it like some other code name? Because I don't see you.
Yeah, guys, so out there in the chat, please put in blueberries that you guys like to use. Zippy's mentioned Flavor West Blueberry, TFA Blueberry Wild, and Loran's Blueberry Clear.
Yeah, Pup Up Man put in Hankson Blueberry. I've heard good things about it.
Blueberry. This smells like fantastic. I haven't tried it in a recipe yet. Let me do it.
Yeah, I've got Mullenberry's Blueberry as well, yeah.
Did you taste it though compared to others? Even like just right off your knuckle? It has a different knuckle than the other blueberries.
Let me see
I'm getting like a sweet blueberry flavor, but it has like a slight bitter note to it.
Just like
Yeah, FLB blueberry muffin is actually not a bad. It's a blueberry. It's like, I don't know. They got the muffin flavor and the blueberry flavor, and they opened the muffin flavor and forgot to put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. I love it though.
It does have some slight muffiny notes, but by and large, it is a blueberry flavor.
But it doesn't play well with others.
Okay, I have a problem with this. Is one of my early purchases back before I watched all my noted and read all my notes and started asking questions. Does anyone else have an issue with Jungle Flavors blueberry?
I do not have it.
My issue is I don't have it either.
Yeah, same for
Why
me.
you don't have it? Trust me. Now, my favorite is of course VSO Blueberry. VSO Blueberry is awesome. It's two of my most loved recipes, and I can't get enough of it. I really can't.
Yeah, if any of the chefs guys are listening out there, get that damn blueberry back in stock so I can buy it, please.
And ORO cornbread, because that's been out of stock for like a month.
Oh wow. I still have a bottle of that I've had for over 2 years.
They're missing a lot of one-on-one flavorings and stuff.
They might be making an order or just selling out on what they've got. I don't know. I actually should speak to Nick about that and see if he knows.
I think there was a cheesecake one that I wanted that Fresh mentioned.
What, the one-on-one? Vanilla custard cheesecake.
That's the one.
Yes, I need to get it back in. I ran out of it.
What are your thoughts on TFA Blueberry Extra? Because I have not breached into that one either.
That's it's more of a candy blueberry. It's
Candy?
not. It's okay. It's not great.
Not great.
No.
Yeah, the blueberry extra, what I get from it is more of a natural, not a candied blueberry flavor, and more earthy.
So like more along the lines of something that I would want to use possibly in maybe
EPA.
a yogurt.
Yeah, Willoughby, that the blueberry extra and blueberry wild combo is a really it's been around for a long time, that combo of blueberries.
Yeah.
And for me, it's okay. I think there's probably better combos out there now, but back 3 years ago probably there wasn't. So it's a combo that's been around since, I don't know, forever.
I've got the
Now,
TVA blueberry extra, and that one is more of a natural but very earthy to me.
Looks to me like a vaporized bottle there, mate.
Yeah, buddy, it is.
my syrupy blueberry notes in just very, very tiny quantities. I like Hankson blueberry.
This melonberry blueberry is very candy-ish as well.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
It's got,
candy.
It has sweetener in it. Yeah.
Sweet. It's really sweet. What do you guys think of Hangson's blueberry? Because I like it.
Overrated.
I mean, little tiny quantities, just like as accents to other things or boost.
Hangson's quite difficult to get here in Australia. I think the Steamery have some, but sorry, I cut over the top of you, Liana.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, the Hang Sen, a lot of the Hang Sens are bit difficult to sort of source. I think Steamery has some, but Tom over at Juice Factory used to have Hang Sen, and he's still got it advertised on his site, but he doesn't have any Hang Sen flavors listed. So
that blueberry Trinity bit with the blueberry extra, Flavor West blueberry, and the bilberry. That bilberry to me is too damn floral. I mean, I get nothing but floral off of bilberry.
Which bilberry, the Vape Train one or the Flavor Art?
Flavor Art.
Even after it steeps out.
Yep. Still too floral. It just it takes over that blueberry for me. I don't enjoy it. That's just me.
I haven't had that issue.
It's pretty dark, but
yeah, I don't run it.
I followed the recipe for that blueberry Trinity. I didn't enjoy it. I let it steep out and everything, and it was just still too floral for me. That bilberry just really punches through it.
Just the bilberry ripe?
No, FA bilberry.
FA bilberry.
Okay. Yeah, see, I have the VT bilberry ripe.
Yeah,
It
when I
seems
heard
it seems
about
to
that
the
Trinity, I reached out and grabbed it and I mixed it up and everything and let it steep out for a couple of weeks, and I didn't enjoy it. It was too floral for me.
it happens with a lot of the dark berries that if you a lot of people are quite sensitive to the floral notes. If you actually eat the berry, you do get a slight floral note with the blueberry. So the floral note is all part of it, but like I get floral off quite a few blueberries as well, and I just put that down to my shit mixing with blueberries rather than the actual flavoring, because I'm a firm believer that there is a place for every flavor and a percentage. Stop it, Liana. there's a place for that you can get every flavor to taste good, but so far I've been a bit unsuccessful stroking your berries live.
I'm just supposed to sit here and look cute. Sorry.
Yeah, I know I have another 60 ml bottle of this around somewhere. I gotta see if it's downstairs.
Really?
I'm using it for other stuff of the VSO.
I want to try that.
That's a good one. Paul from LabWorks is saying to add a drop of citric
acid
to the blueberry. Yeah.
To the beginner.
Most fruits.
Acid from New Nicotine, and if you want to learn how to work acids, then you're gonna hit Simon up, and Simon is gonna send you a little printout on what acid go with what fruits and why. Yep. And then you got to message them to find out just how much.
when you're using citric acid, if you're going to use citric acid to boost any fruit, stay very low. And most fruits have malic acid in it, which is TPA sour. So you're pretty safe to say that you can add malic acid to most fruits to get them to jump out a little bit at you. You'll get a better result if you use a combination of malic acid and the predominant acid that is in that fruit, be it tartaric or citric. If you use, say, like a 0.25 of citric and a 0.75 of malic, it's going to be a better result than you just the malic acid or just the citric acid. The combination of the two actually works quite well together. So I will put into chat that link that Liana was talking about, because I have that saved, because it is a
so if we have any new mixers that are hanging out there in chat, by all means, guys, ask us some questions. We're more than willing to give you a hand and help you out and get you pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, so that's the link to the document that Liana's got there. Now, it predominantly deals with flavouring in soft drinks and whatnot, but it does apply in a similar. It translates to e-juice as well. The one thing on that, they do mention fumaric acid. Do not use fumaric acid in your juice.
Fumaric acid in watermelon.
It is not good. It is not good. The malic and citric and tartaric, no dramas, but fumaric acid does not play well with vaporizing.
Now, what was the one? Was it TFA's tart and sour or sour?
LA has tart and sour.
Loren's tart and sour.
Yeah.
And that one's considered a citric acid?
That's a citric and malic acid mix, I believe. Without looking at I looked at the MSDS ages ago, and I'm pretty sure, about 90% sure, that it was a citric and malic acid.
Are there
mix.
any other manufacturers that put one out? Like, what about bitters? Like Vape Train's bitters, and I know they put bitters out there.
Going off, I mean, the Vape Train MSDS sheets are quite hard to get hold of. So I do have them. I haven't scanned through them because I don't have a lot of Vape Train. I've probably only got about 30 of them. So,
what about other manufacturers?
Other manufacturers where you've got TPA sour, which is malic acid. That's at 22%. 22% malic acid. There's tart and sour. I believe that Vape Train sour lemon, maybe.
Or sour lemon. I have that.
Yeah, I think that has a combo of citric and malic in it, but I'm not 100% sure. There's a couple from Capella, one which is a super sour that I think has lactic acid in it as well. and now I've never used that one. So if anyone has any thoughts on that, if they've used it, let me know, because I'd be interested in having a bit of a chat to you about that. I want to find out how the lactic acid translates in a vape and whether it's, does what it's meant to do. But
Frank, are we going to mix something?
Yeah.
Something basic, beginner basic?
Yeah. Oh, Shane, you have knuckled this? This is his sour. This is his, I guess this is malic acid. Yeah, I wasn't going to knuckle it.
Come on.
Is it also said that a lemon note also helps to boost the blueberry as well?
Absolutely,
Yep.
it does.
Yep.
Yeah, you can use a
or
lemon.
even a lime.
Yeah, you can use this any kind of citrus, lemon, lime, to help boost up a strawberry or blueberry. Let's see, I've been using blue raspberry from TFA at 4% to make a blue slush. Exactly.
Yeah. How about cap lemon lime? Would that go pretty good with the blueberry or strawberry?
It will, but you will get a slight cooling effect. Not like a menthol, but if you don't want to use a WS-23 or a Coolada or Polar Blast or any of those cooling agents, if you just want a similar, like a slight cooling note, then I'd use cap lemon lime.
Oh yeah. So our Willie B. James is asking. So for everybody out there, if you had to pick a single flavor concentrate, what would it be? I do TPA's jackfruit at 6%, single mix all day long, every day. I vape the stuff out of that. And the reason why I like it is for multiple reasons. Number one, you get a nice thick mouthfeel off of it. And number two, it gives you a pineapple reference with like a like a sweet and sour, sweet and tart type of flavor to it.
Okay.
And it works on multiple different levels, whereas I find most other single flavor concentrates don't do that for you. You have to mix and add more to put in that mouthfeel that you're looking for, or to smooth things out or whatever. I find that as a single flavor one awesome. I mean, that's my all day, every day, just one single concentrate I'd go to.
Shane just posted malic citric and acidic. Is that the VSO equivalent to sour?
Yeah, that's what this is.
Drop some on your tongue, mate. It's not too bad.
No, I'm good.
Come on, man. Come on. It's just like a gummy sour worm.
Yeah, I don't know if
that's what the outside.
I don't think I have enough beer left up here to wash that down.
well, your sour worms and stuff like that. The candies, the jellies that you get. It's basically the outside coating of that is malic acid and sugar.
Yeah.
That's now, and when you're using a malic acid, you if you want to carry the sour a little bit better, you do have to use a sweeter concentrate, because the sweet and the sour works well together. I wouldn't suggest that super sweet, because it's not a go-to for me, but something that is sweet will carry the sour in a fruit a little bit better.
There you go, Simon. There's a perfect one for you. The real Stevie J asks, how does voltage or less voltage affect the flavor?
Oh, absolutely.
Depends on your build, big time. I vape fairly high, and you'll notice if you look at some of my recipes, they're really low. More voltage, more vapor, more flavor. Mouth to lung does not agree with me. It makes me cough, so which is a bit weird, I know.
Airflow.
But yeah. So if you're going to crank voltage into a juice which is pretty punch in your face flavor, you're going to get sick of it really, really quickly. If you've got a really subtle flavor and you up your voltage, then you're going to probably be in a fairly happy spot.
But the ultimate end goal is to play around with the different wattages and voltages and everything like that, and see what works best for the build that you have. Then you'll be able to kind of dial it in and find your sweet spot where you enjoy it, because obviously everybody's different and it's very subjective.
And also, let me add something real quick with that. And certain flavor profiles, you don't want to get crazy and run them hot, like coffees. You will burn
coffees and chocolate in particular.
You will burn the hell out of them. They will taste terrible. You run them, 2 volts, depending on your build, stuff like that, 40, 50 watts, like, let's say like a single battery squonk, with a small RDA on them, then you'll be okay. Like a little single coil 22 millimeter.
There are exceptions to rules in every case, though.
Yeah.
Chocolate, I find, burns very easily over 50 watts, and you get a burnt mess. One example that defies that is the Medicine Flower dark chocolate. Of course, I went there. The Vape Train chocolate mousse and dark chocolate are also in that same realm, that you can actually crank it and not get that burnt flavour. Your TPAs and caps, to me, are a bit chalky. So we're going off blueberries into chocolates, but but they get a bit chalky and get a bit burnt at higher wattage. So, selecting the right wattage for a juice is also important. Like fruits, I find you can push them very high without degrading the fruits. Creams and custards, depending on which ones you use, you can push them semi-high, but not as high as a straight fruit mix.
This is a custard mix on this Code 4 I've been vaping on, and I'm running this, dual parallel, 21700, a 0.1, like right around a 0.1 build. So I'm putting some heat to it, and it's fine.
Yeah. A lot of the custards are fine. The one I do find that doesn't play excellent with a massive wattage is Cap VC1. If you're looking at your premium, your Inawera custard, legendary custard, they all seem to play quite nicely at the higher wattage. So depends on the strawberry, Stevie J. Some do, some don't. Your cap sweet strawberry is quite muted over 100 watts. TPA's also muted 100, around the 100 watts. You get the background notes, but you miss out on the strawberry. So, and in saying that, if you know how a flavour behaves too, it actually, if you wanted to do a clone of a juice, you can crank the wattage up and more or less identify some of the flavours in that juice by the wattage that you're vaping at and whether they disappear or not.
This is true.
So do you want to make something?
Yep, I'm putting something together right now.
There you go. Put something together, Liana.
Thank you. I'm trying to respond to this chat. I'm just going to respond verbally because it's too... My average all-day vapes tend to be on a Falcon King, but I test on a recurve, and I test in pods, and I test on a rebirth, so that the wattages are all different, and I prefer 980. So let me get on to this. Little
yeah, that's what I do. For flavor testing, I'll use a recurve, but I prefer the rebirth with just a single coil in it. That for me just gives me really great flavor testing off a single coil. 3 millimeter diameter, 5 wraps. It's NI80 fused Clapton. I've also done the stainless steel in it and everything. But for my tastes, for my preferences, I prefer the nichrome or the NI80. But that's usually what I do for flavor reference testing when I'm testing my flavors out after I've mixed up a recipe. So that's what I found works great for me. And like I said, it has a lot to do with playing around with the different setups to see what you get. To find, your sweet spot, because everybody's different. Not everybody's going to agree to the same things. So it is going to take a little bit of playing around and goofing around with the different setups, playing around with the different ohm settings and your wraps and the coils that you're using. It'll take a lot of experimenting, if you will, to find that sweet spot that you're going to enjoy and something that you will actually like.
Here's sorry, Liana, go on.
I'm saying I can't whip out things as quickly as everyone else. It takes me a while. I have to study each ingredient, and I have to study percentages and all that stuff. So
that's all good. There's my initial flavor tester, which is couple of lollipop coils with cotton stuffed down in between the posts. It's a little 22 millimeter trial V2. Then it moves on to a goon, and then it moves on to probably my favorite tank of all time, which is the Voltroves.
There you go. Okay, so I was asked, how do you do a single coil build on the Rebirth? It's quite simple. I've gone ahead and pulled it off there for you. So that's basically what it looks like on the deck of the Rebirth, and you just whack it right in the center.
Oh, okay.
You put your wicks down each side, do you, Steve-O?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. And then you put your wicks down on each side over here where the gold post is at, and you can kind of see where that goes down in there. Okay. But yeah, they just go down in on the sides. That's a single coil on the Rebirth. I get a shit ton of flavor off a single. I built it with a dual and everything. The flavor disappeared for me. And since I've been doing, a single coil build on that Rebirth, that has worked out just awesome for me. Been really happy with it. I've been satisfied with it, and just absolutely love it for flavor with just one coil in it. Like I said, it's a 3 millimeter diameter NI80 fused Clapton. I think it's got a 26 gauge 3-core, and then the outer wrap is 36 gauge. So that's what I primarily use when I'm doing builds with the coils and stuff like that. Now, everybody that knows me, the one thing I absolutely just completely died for and fell over for was mesh. Okay, I got my first smoke device that came with a mesh, came with a tank, smoke tank, and it had a mesh coil in it. The flavor blew me away, and I'm like, what? Whoa, no way. So since then, I actually got a hold of one of the Profile Unity mesh, and that comes in at 0.11 ohms right now for me. I've had it even come at 0.1 ohm, and my sweet spot seems to be at about 50 watts for that device. It ranges between 50 to 70 watts if you're doing wattage, and I'm just getting killer flavor off of that. And that is using the OF-RF Next Mesh. Now, I have been made aware that they do have, this is Canthal, and it is rated at 0.13 ohms. However, I find that I'm getting them at 0.1 to 0.11 ohms coming in, which is really good, but they've got a stainless steel one now that's out. I'm keen to try the stainless steel to see if I get even more flavor or a better flavor out of the stainless steel versus the Canthal.
Beginner question.
Stevie, yeah, sorry, I was muted, but Stevie J, yes, I do try them in sub-ohm tanks. There's the V2 Valerian. You've got to try the whole range of tanks for a juice, find its happy spot. I'd like to call this my flavor tester, but it's not. It's a 30 mil tank, so.
Which one is that? The Voltrove?
No, that one's actually the Steam Crave Titan on a hog. But
did you see where the Aromizer Pluses are going to discontinue them, so they're selling them like dirt cheap?
Yes, I did actually, and I picked up 5, so yeah, happy with that. But
yeah, Stevie J said that about the sub-ohm tank. I used to do it in a sub-ohm tank. So what I used to have was a Smock TF-V8. And then I had E-Leaf Milo 300 coils that were rated from 100 to 300 watts. I used to do that, but it's not very good. Liana, you're raising your hand?
Thank you. Yes, I am. I have a beginner question, since I know that lemon complements blueberry, and if I wanted to come up with a blueberry custard, and Mullenberry's custard has such a strong lemon note on it, and it normally doesn't get along with other fruits, doesn't that mean it would get along with a blueberry just fine?
Mullenberry's custard has a lemon note? I know their cheesecake. I wasn't sure about their custard.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about their custard. The FA custard, yes.
I'll try the cheesecake then. I will try the cheesecake. I knew one of them did, and I just got the line I've been super busy. Just got the line in, and I wanted to try the one that specifically had the lemon note to it, and that was their cheesecake.
FA custard has a lemon note.
Yeah.
So this is what I would suggest. Do a Nick Evans. Use the MB Mullenberry Legendary custard with FA Premium custard, and try the blueberry. Try the blueberry by Mullenberry as well. Put all them in together for like a blueberry custard.
You're not supposed to tell me anything. I'm supposed to try to come up with them, but I was just trying to remember which one had the lemon note in it that they said it would. It could be a cheesecake or it could be a custard. I don't care. I don't care if either one, but which one had the lemon note in it? That's what I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, the Mullenberry cheesecake has the lemon note, and blueberries from, I think it was Paul that was saying it, that it will. No, I'm sorry, it was Aaron Cazzola was saying it, that you can work with that lemon using blueberries, but I tried it with strawberries and it wouldn't work.
I want to try it with blueberries.
Try it with blueberries. See how it works.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, that's the thing.
Why not?
That's what I want to do.
You start small with. I mean, with anything, you start small, and this way, if you do something that you end up not liking, you just dump it and you start over. I mean, don't make a 60 ml batch of it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a custard. I just knew one of them did, and I couldn't remember it, guys. I just got the line 3 days ago. I do work 2 jobs, so I've been losing my mind here trying to get everything organized.
Oh, there you go. Fidalgo was asking about a lime custard. I would say Vape Train's Persian lime for sure for the lime.
Yeah.
That would rock.
And maybe throw in some Flavor West key lime.
I'd go TPA key lime and Persian lime 1-to-1 is pretty spectacular.
Yeah. I didn't look to see if I even had the TFA line.
But Frank, I've got to get you one of these, mate.
Here you go, Ronnie. Ronnie's saying that the banana custard by Vape Train is really good with blueberries.
Oh, is that the Titan?
No, that's the Voltro.
Oh, the Voltro.
40
millimeter.
Mark Mathers, I tell you, puts out some nice gear. He's coming out with a version 3. That one's actually got a velocity deck. He's coming out with a version 3 at some stage, which has a postless deck. The version 3s are really nice. And there's a version 3 of the Mini coming out soon as well. I think they're on pre-sale now, which is also a postless deck.
What's the Mini, a 35 millimeter?
30 mil. Mark's idea of Mini is not the same as most people's, I guess.
This little guy is not too bad.
One of them DeWalt mods for it. 14
battery in
parallel. Got the good old Blotto. That's not a bad one. I prefer it with a single coil. I built it with a dual coil. I lost a bit of flavor with a dual coil, but my God, this thing chucks some clouds for you.
The Blotto, mate.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Right. Now I just need the crust and I need texture.
Ronnie, try the banana custard with the almond custard from Wonder Flavours.
Yeah, this custard I'm doing here, I would have used Legendary, but I'm just about out of it because I still have to order it from Bull City. I can get it for like $23 bucks. I can get 120 mils. And I think I would use it.
I actually picked that up this week. It's not here yet, but yeah, so I'll have a crack with that and have a bit of a play.
Oh, you'll love it. Yeah, I use
yes, there you go. Swaggy just mentioned something else too, which we should probably touch on with blueberries, and it works well with strawberries as well, is saline.
Oh, okay.
The little tiny bit of saline is a good thing with both strawberry and blueberry. It works quite nicely.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, saline is. I mean, as long as you don't go nuts on it, it works with heaps of fruits. Brilliant at bringing nuts. If you've got a mix with nuts in it, brilliant at bringing the nuts forward in the mix a little bit, and just making them a little bit more realistic.
I didn't know about using it with the fruits.
Yeah.
I used it with chocolate before and with peanut butter and stuff like that.
Yep.
All right.
Coffee, if you're doing a coffee vape as well, like coffee and saline as well, but with saline, you want to do it so that you're using the BP saline from a chemist, 0.9% sealed, not eye wash. Don't get eye wash because that has acid in it generally. So you need the BP, which is the injectable saline, 0.9% from a chemist. And there's a lot of places where that where it can be used. Bakeries, fruits, nuts, everything tastes better with salt. Let's face it. But don't go high. I'm suggesting about 0.25% absolute tops on that, because if you start getting to the point where your juice is tasting salty, then you've gone way too hard. It's going to wreck your coils, and it's going to get you're going to get spit back lava shots to the gob from hell. So go light on them. Oh, and Shane's just put in that I think the rest of the link is probably for saline. I can't quite see it yet.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, sterile saline. Yep.
Yep, perfect. That's the stuff you want.
$1.25.
All right, I'm actually not going to need any kind of sweetener with this.
Yeah, so what I've done is I've gone for a blueberry custard. What I'm using is the F8 Premium Custard with the Mullenberry Legendary Custard, and I kind of wanted like a jammy blueberry in there, so I used VTA's Blueberry Jam.
Let's see, Lori's asking, do you have any ideas what you would do for a latte base? Something versatile, you could add raspberry.
I can't remember who the mixer is, but there is on ELR a recipe called Strawberry Latte, which I think might have been Beaufort batches. I'm not 100% sure. As a strawberry latte, it's very nice, but you could actually pull the strawberry out of it and add any fruit that you wanted to it. It uses, I think it's 0.7% Inoa tiramisu for the coffee note, which is ample for the coffee note. And when he actually made it, he was shooting for a coffee cake with strawberries on top, but he said it tasted like a latte, so he just renamed it, which is fair call.
Yeah. Let's see, James Capozzi is asking about an RD8. It's not a cloud chucker, but it has stellar flavor. And if you want to go cheap, get yourself a Wasp Nano. You'll get good flavor, but I mean, if you're going stellar
Haku?
flavor, you're gonna have to the Haku. That's a little bit pricey though, isn't it? If you can find them.
Yeah, I don't think they can make them anymore. I don't think they're making them anymore. You might have to look for in Clone City for that.
Yeah,
but
up to $60 to $70. Okay, now that opens it up a little bit.
Mullenberry blueberry is jammy.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm reading.
Okay.
It's jammy, so that would breathe the thickener note, and then I could put a fresh blueberry in there too, like a fresher one, like VSO. Just talking out loud. This is how long it takes me, guys. It takes me a long time. I don't know.
Okay. No, I mean, I pull them out my ass if they work great. If not, the sink gets some flavor.
If you can find one, there's a little one from Efro, which is a little single coil jobby, which is quite small. Not a bad little chucker, but not super duper cloudy. So I use that on a stratum though. So
I'm going to take a line from Fresh's book. Please vape how you taste.
Yeah, and you could definitely, take Fresh's quick custard and toss some blueberries at it too.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, but I decided to go a little different.
Yeah, I went with the premium custard, the legendary custard, and the blueberry jam.
It's gonna take me a while, but I only have 4 ingredients. You guys be proud of me.
I tried to stay low, but then I end up I put a little bit of sweetener, and then I had some additives. I put in some lemon to brighten it up. And I added a little bit of a flavor of vanilla pudding to add a creaminess with the Inawera custard.
So these are my thoughts, and you guys remember this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that's watching, I'm a beginner, and I'm openly a beginner. Okay, that's why I ask a lot of questions. There's no stupid question to ask.
Exactly.
So
the only stupid question is one you don't ask.
Right. So for my right, that's true. So for the Mullenberry blueberry, being that it's jammy, being like the jammy part of it, and then with fresh blueberries that would be on top of the cheesecake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that at just about 2.4%. The VSO is it's not really strong, so I could go anywhere between 3 and 4% on that.
I like to run it about 4.
Yeah, that's about what I was thinking. I put 3.6.
Okay.
Close.
Pulling
And then I have.
Yeah, I was just about to say, doing a Lumi percentage. 3.661.
This is my skeleton, you guys. It takes me a long time. So I want to try the Mullenberry cheesecake because it has the lemon notes in there, and I was going to hit that at 5%. And then I was going to go with the cheesecake graham cracker crust to support it for crust, and that was it. I don't think I'm going to need sweetener.
No, you shouldn't need sweetener. And I would bring the Mullenberry cheesecake down a little.
Okay.
Maybe 3.5, 3.54 maybe.
Okay. I'll do it. Hey, this is why I'm a beginner. I can sit here and look at notes forever, but I'm going to throw something together that's going to be crazy.
That's quite illuminating, Frank.
Yes.
And on the graham cracker crust, the cheesecake graham cracker crust, I'm clueless yet.
Yeah, no, you had it at what, 2, 3?
I actually had that at about 1.8. I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
2.
1.82. It's fine.
2 is
1.82.
on the wall.
1.8 to 2%. Yeah, basically 2%. Yeah.
4 ingredients.
Yeah.
4.
If in doubt, single flavor test everything to the value of pi to the 8th decimal place.
Exactly.
After
like Hobag just said, 3.546.
After a long, that's a beautiful build. Okay, so that comes out to 11.5%. That's in good parameters for me. And I know this is going to be a long steep. A long one.
Nah.
Well, I heard that the Mullenberry cheesecake, from what I read, it doesn't take as long as other cheesecakes.
Give it a week, you'll be good. Off the shake, you'll have an idea. You'll have an idea off the shake whether you want to like it or not.
Okay. Whether I'm going to like it or not?
Yeah.
I have to love it, or I'm going to be all offended.
Well, after it steeps out, you may love it, but at least you'll have an idea if it has a chance. Yeah, 17% off at VSO Flavours using the code After Dark. Thank you, Shane. I have to put that in the description. I keep forgetting about that one. Actually, let me actually write that down.
Frank, that vape's as good as it tastes on the knuckle.
Nice. We'll have to compare because
Cameron's giving me a hard time saying
you're a consultant.
I'm a beginner.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what an affiliate means? That means that I have a blabby mouth and I talk about things. So yeah. These are flavors that I haven't used yet. I'm good in other arenas like my fruits, just for fruit. But I just got this line. I'm excited to use it though. Did you guys see All Things Green? Mullenberry actually mixed it, and I'm waiting on comments back from that.
Nice.
That was the last one. Yeah. I love that recipe. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, Nasha, how you doing, buddy? So yeah, that blueberry custard worked out good.
Yeah, I'm actually going to make this one public and then share it.
Yum.
This
I'm definitely going to share this one. You can definitely vape it off the shake. But I think if you give it a week, I'm sure this is going to pop. You know what I'll do? I'm going to wait a week is what I'm going to do. And then I'll release it after that. So I'll see what it does in a week. And then I'll let you guys know. I'll release that out on ELR.
Yeah, I didn't want this one to go 6 flavors, but it ended up going 6 because of sweetener and Flavor Express lemon.
And Shane, I don't think they make Mary Jane flavour anymore. It's been replaced.
Thank God.
And that's best at 0%.
Yeah, thank God they replaced that.
But
you give that to Cuomo, and he would do a flavor ban. And I wouldn't blame him. that's all we had to vape, I'd go back to fucking cigarettes if that's all we had to vape was TFA Mary Jane.
So yeah, for the folks out there wondering, what I was wicking up with, I love cotton threads. I get zero break in on it. I love it.
They're good. I have to get them again. The ones I like, they're a little bit thicker, and so they really work well with a lot of bigger RTAs, like the 55 millimeter ones that Simon has there. Is the Geek Vape? They're made by Geek Vape. They're called, what are they called? Something threads or something. They got like a character on them, which I don't really care for, but
Angora Rabbit.
No, not that one.
No,
that one's good for RDAs that you're going to just do some testing after about, I don't know, a day. You want to rip it out and replace it because it doesn't hold up too well.
Funny how they market that one differently in different countries. In some countries, they've got Bugs Bunny on it. On the other, they've got their own logo.
There we go. Yeah, well, yeah. Warner Brothers have a field day on their Chinese ass over here.
Yeah, that's it. But
yeah, I got to say that blueberry custard did work out really well.
Sent you a whole the Angora Rabbit cotton. Yeah, a lot of people. Mine was given to me. I didn't buy it.
Ah, Mark Senior's in the chat. Hey, how you doing, Mark?
Hey, his ass just woke up.
Actually, someone earlier on was asking about DIYers in Canada. There's one, Mark Senior. So I can't remember who it was that was asking.
Today is first day of autumn here.
God,
First day of spring down south and first day of autumn here. I totally forgot that. Probably because it was 87 degrees Fahrenheit here today, so it doesn't feel like fall.
It smells good.
Oh, they wanted you to be the U.S. distributor for it. Instead, they suckered in. May he rest in peace now. Guy that lived down here in eastern North Carolina. Oh, what the heck was his name? My God. Yeah, Bob. Yeah, may he rest in peace. Yeah, smell it with Bob Buckland. That's it. My goodness, I can't. And they said nicotine's supposed to be good for your brain. Yeah, I don't believe that one.
You don't believe it's good for your brain?
Yeah, I've managed to get off it myself. I'm done. I vaped 1 milligram for the longest time now, for a while, over the past 6 months, and I'm just like, I ran out, and I'm like, I'm not getting any more. I'm not doing it anymore.
I tested myself earlier this week. I had the butterscotch I did last week. I didn't nick that one up, and I put it in a tank, and I started vaping on it, and I didn't vape anything else that morning, and so I didn't have any nicotine in me, and I about broke my teeth gritting my teeth. I'm like, yeah, I'm not over them yet. I still need a little bit of nick. Fortunately, I had another bottle of it, another mix I made with 2 milligrams, so I just threw that in the tank with it. Yeah, I was like
going nuts.
I was like, oh yeah, short temper. Screaming at Beth on the phone. I'm like, yeah. I could just feel my teeth like almost snapping. I'm like, yeah.
I guess
when it comes down to it, it is essentially no different to caffeine.
No.
As far as brain work goes, as far as I know. But they did some studies. I think it was Parkinson's.
Yes. And dementia and Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Yeah, so it can actually help in those situations. So
yeah, Stevie J, I can tell a slight taste difference in zero nick. It depends on how high you're going. I mean, from a 6 to a 3, I could totally taste the taste difference. Besides the hit in the chest anymore, but I wouldn't say zero tastes like fresh air, but. I mean, you still get flavor. You still get plenty of flavor depending on your mix, but I can just taste it. It seems a little bit weaker to me.
There are some flavors. Cap V1 springs to mind immediately that actually need. Well, no, when I say need, don't need, but taste better when you have nick in them.
Yeah.
The Cap VC1 all the good stuff will oxidize and turn into diacetyl, which makes it taste yum.
Yes.
So putting nick in some creams and custards and stuff like that will actually help the juice develop.
That's what I just did, and that's why it's on the mixer right now.
Yeah, from a 3 to 0, okay. Yeah, you could tell the difference.
It's okay to tease me about, like the fact that I put consultant on Facebook or something like that. I worked in certain areas and I worked myself up into a different area. Cheesecake's not something that I've done. It's not. I've been specializing in other areas. I have 24 recipes in that area. I have a good palate, but I will fine tune this long before I publish it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to take it. It really is. I can take it because anybody, they have to start somewhere. And this is what I want to do. And so yeah, I dream big and I put that freaking label up there, and that's what I'm gonna do. That's absolutely what I'm. And I don't have a problem with it. But I can take it. I can take the razzing and the hazing and all that stuff. I've been working in other areas on other recipes and other batches that are mine. This is the latest one. I haven't published this yet. This is nothing to do with cheesecake, So I have to learn in different areas. I'm not going to learn it all at once. But in what I do have, I'm very pleased with it. Very pleased with it. And I can't put things together like as fast as you guys can because you have so much experience with your recipes and your flavors. But what I do put together, I'm meticulous about and fine tune it and research it. And I had no idea until an hour before the show, we're going to do blueberries. I have in-depth experience with literally 3 of them out of the ones that I have. But I'm not ashamed to say that. I'm not some expert. I know when I started, but just saying that,
I don't claim to be any kind of an expert myself either. You know what? I just
go
with the flow and I mix.
Yeah, I'm gonna dream big. I want to dream big because this is really what I want to do. It's where my
nice one, Shane.
Yeah. Oh, Ronnie's being technical at Mark breaking his stones. When you say vape 1 to 2%, Nick, you mean 10 to 20 milligram? That's right. We all learn. I mean, there's not a mixer. If there's a mixer out there that claims he doesn't have to learn anything anymore, then he's lying.
Simple as that. There is no one that can not learn a little trick here.
I've been doing my job 23 years. I learn something new every day.
Yeah, like how to drive.
Yeah.
Hazing is not a bad
or
thing.
see something new every day. Then.
By the way.
Yeah. How to drive? It's how to drive with idiots on the road.
My last name is Hudspeth. Hudspeth. Leanna Hudspeth. There you go. Yeah.
Just going back to custards and. Sorry,
I don't mean hazing in a bad way. Remember when we would go into like college, and they haze you when you're a freshman? Like when I went to Discord, it was fun, and I didn't realize they were doing it, and they were trying to compare me, saying I was someone else, and it was like a great big joke. And they ended up, one of the young kids ended up making this whole cartoon. I loved the experience so much because after that, like they just treated me differently that I printed it up, and it was a funny thing. Hazing is not bad, so please don't take the terminology bad, Tim. Hazing is like a fun way of like egging a person or taking little digs or whatever, and it's all done in love, so it's not a bad thing.
Shane, a mate of mine keeps all of his mistakes and puts it in one big bottle and calls it the suicide mix.
Oh no!
But wait, his wife vapes just menthol, so he adds menthol to it, and she has no idea. so she vapes. He just chucks menthol in there and go, there you go, I made you 500 mil. So thank you. It's got all these failed mixes in there.
Oh God!
It's kind of funny. One day she'll find out and give him a punch in the dick or something.
Yeah, right.
I just made 40 mils, so I'm gonna pull it off this quick so I can like have a taste in front of God and everybody. It's killing me.
Oh shit! What up, HD? Sorry that your quarterback retired on you and you're stuck with Jacoby Brissett.
I guess that's a sorry, not sorry there, Frank.
Oh, we don't play him this year. We played him last year, so it's okay. I'm just glad I didn't pick him up in fantasy football. Butterscotch and honeycomb. What am I missing? That's a good combination.
So last night, Tabian was at the house helping me with some computer stuff for my husband's computer, and I bought him a soda from McDonald's, and he got a Sprite tropical mix. I don't drink soda, and I'm like, well, let me taste it. I'm like, oh my god, that's really good. Like, I whipped out a recipe last night of the bare bones of what I thought was in that, and I'm really that's what I'm focused on right now. That's where my head has been. It was a good soda. I think I tasted it like 4 times, and him and I were sitting there sniffing flavors together, and I'm like, this one was no, finding the right combination for that one, and it's gonna be good.
Wendy says she found a mix. She forgot about a mix and found it behind a bag of flour in the pantry, and she said it didn't turn out good.
Melted Tootsie Roll. Is that because the Tootsie Roll's sort of plasticky?
Yeah. I'm just wondering, how did it get like hot in the pantry and it had like, the nicotine broke down and screwed it up, or what? Because I found a bottle. Oh, I forget what it was now, but I mean, Beth fucking destroyed it. It was really good, and it sat for like 2 years.
Stevie wants a Sprite pound cake. That's what we need. We need to make Stevie a Sprite pound cake. Like, he's been on me about that in Zoom. Like, he really wants.
All right, well,
a southern
citrus soda. Yeah, citrus soda flavor pound cake. Goodbye, you're done.
Done. Job done. See ya.
Gooey butter cake is probably too buttery for it, I think. And I only have so much original left. And you know what, you guys? That's what I wanted to tell you. The V2.
Oh, which one? Mm-hmm. Which one, the V2?
DIYFS gooey butter.
Oh, okay.
Cake.
I think I get the V1.
No, I wanted to tell you guys, but I didn't want to, we were talking about blueberries.
Lemon lime pound cake. Yeah, citrus soda, maybe add a little bit extra lemon, a little bit extra lime, a little bit golden butter, and flavor pound cake. Done.
Odd single flavor test that I've done. I had a German flavors chocolate Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, Wendy, I think the problem that it might have been labelled chocolate pretzel. You did something wrong, and that you used pretzel.
No, it's a Tootsie Roll chocolate.
What, the Wonder Flavors?
I tested it.
No.
I tested it 4 days, 1 week, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it just turned into Tootsie Roll. That stuff is awesome. That is a really good flavor. The French vanilla,
yeah,
the V1 and the V2, it's just lacking the depth that the V1 had. And I keep praying. I only tested them at 3%. I'm just not. It just doesn't meet. It doesn't match. It just doesn't get up there. And then the other thing that was up there was French Cafe Napoleon. I have yet to test this, and I'm like scared because that's supposedly a really good flavor. And I remember the day that they whipped this out, and I have to put totally fresh cotton in that. This is the last one that I have to test of theirs, and I'm just disappointed. There's some things that they did really good. They did really good on the Holy Grail RY4. They did really well on Holy Resurrection. Holy Vanilla V2, no. But the gooey butter cake, it breaks my heart. Angel food cake.
A pound cake is called a pound cake, Shane, because you use a pound of each ingredients to make the cake. And it's a really simple one. It's pound of this, pound of that, pound of that, pound of that cake.
Yep. That's the way it was back in the day, yeah.
Okay.
Well, gang, it's almost 11 o'clock, and for other people who want to get angry about advocacy, you can go check out the Vaping Legion. I'm going to go ahead and find their link and put that up so everyone could go over there and let's see if I can see if they have their stream ready to go.
Yeah, they've been killing it.
Is this it? Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, Vaping Legion's been killing it, man.
Yeah.
Have they got a date for the rally yet that you know of, Frank?
Not yet. It's going to be. They're planning on November.
Yep.
Not quite sure what's going to be left by then, but.
Well, see, over there, now correct me if I'm wrong, if the states make a law and then there's a federal law, then the state law overrides federal law, right?
Depending on what it is, but yeah. Like right now, like with like cannabis, marijuana here is still considered a Schedule 1 narcotic. And under federal law, it's not legal. But over there, but individual states, are doing recreational or, or where. Oh yeah, Moxley's going in 60 minutes as well. I'm sure she's got a lot to say this week with New Zealand pulling a 180 and threatening a flavor ban now.
That's I'm not sure where that's going to go because there's a couple of the politicians over there that are super pro vaping. Whether they pull a flavour ban or not, I don't know. No, that wasn't Mum Tam. But the regulations, I think, for New Zealand, I think it's set down for either next month or November that they're going to come out with something. They are actually doing a survey in regards to flavours that I believe is run by one of the pro-vaping MPs over there.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a concern in regards to the Maori population, in particular the Maori women. The smoking rates in the Maori population is 40% or something along those lines. So they really want to allow vaping, but whether it gets restricted down, I would suggest it'll probably get restricted down, hopefully not flavour-wise, but possibly labelling and nick-wise. I'm not altogether up with it because that only started to be touted this week. So that's a relatively new development in New Zealand. So hopefully they don't go that route because it's going to that will have a massive effect on Australia as well. Since we can't buy Nick juices, the companies here get them co-packed in New Zealand and service Australia from New Zealand. So that will have a big impact for us if that actually happens and goes ahead.
Yeah, Shane's got it right. Cities trump county, counties trump state, state trumps federal.
Yeah, it's the absolute reverse here. If the federal government comes out with a law, then the states are bound by that. State law overrides. So you guys are the absolute reverse of us. So if a state here legalised nick vaping and then the federal government outlawed it, then the federal law holds over the state law.
Yeah, just like if the federal flavor ban were to go through here, the states would have to come out with a law to say that it'd be legal.
Yeah.
Which not gonna happen.
There you go, Paul's. If that goes down in New Zealand, it's going to affect Paul. He just started co-packing in New Zealand. Well, he will on the 1st of October. So, yeah, look, it'll have a big effect on Australia if that goes ahead. I'm hopeful. I did hear a little birdie told me that Stanton Glantz was actually in New Zealand a couple of weeks ago.
You sent that to me earlier this week. I was like, that rotten motherfucker.
Yeah, like nothing like sticking your nose in another country's business, but
that's what the US does best.
Well, him in particular, but he's zealot. He's. I mean, Stanton Glantz is Stanton Glantz. That's fine. He's a professor of medicine, but he's not, and he hasn't got any qualifications in the medical arena aside from working in the field for a long time. Now, the problem is that media say, "Oh, he's a professor of medicine. Oh, he knows what he's speaking about," which you sort of just go, "He's a zealot." And he's all for banning anything that anyone enjoys.
You can buy a PhD online.
Might get one and start writing some papers.
Yeah.
Smoking is a gateway to vaping.
It needs more VSO Blueberry, just a little bit. So I added some more.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks, Frank, for having me on. I greatly appreciate it, brother.
Thanks for hanging out, Steve. I mean, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Steve, go ahead and Shill, what you guys got going on, you and Aaron?
Yeah, so we've got we had 100 subs that we hit, subscribers on our channel, and happy
Well
to hit. So yeah, well, this coming up week here on Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing a giveaway for some Dormouse drip tips and some various hardware and everything. So yeah, stay tuned to that. He's keeping track of everyone that goes in and comments rabbit or puts a picture of a rabbit in the comments of our shows and everything. And then we will definitely be working on doing that giveaway and everything. So yeah, all good, man.
So it's actually 10 p.m. Eastern Thursday night.
Thursday night, that's right. Friday.
Yeah, your Friday.
Getting me my Friday, 12 p.m. Aussie time. So yeah, that's soon to change because we're gonna. What is it? October. I think the first weekend in October, the first Sunday in October, we change time, so we will no longer be. The state that I'm in is gonna stay the same. You guys are gonna go what, an hour?
We won't go until like November.
Yeah, we'll be at 1 o'clock, so it'll be 1 o'clock for all the states that have daylight saving time. Queensland doesn't because, well, it fades the curtains more because there's more daylight.
Yeah.
That was actually a submission because Queensland wanted to have daylight saving time, or they put it to a vote, and to public comment, and someone actually wrote in that there's more sunlight, so it fades the curtains more.
That's painful.
The dairy farmers were complaining because the cows wouldn't know what time they would get milked because cows wear watches all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, they get the fake Rolexes from China.
Yeah. Oh dear, but yeah, I think they might be the only state in Australia that doesn't have daylight saving time, aren't they, Steve?
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, Queensland is the only state that doesn't have daylight. Yeah, but yeah, thanks so much once again. I greatly appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Simon, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on vapingcommunity.co.uk. There's a bit of a calculator there. Feel free to have a look at it, and the forum there on ELR as well. Not too many recipes on ELR. Most of mine are released on VC now. You find me in the Discords, Facebook. I'll be hunting around in the groups, and if you want to hit me up, if you've got any questions, please feel free. I will do my best to answer. But that's about it. Liana, off to you.
I honestly can't answer that right now because I know that the OMETs are taking a break for this week, and that's what I know, so I'd have to ask Cam about that. Other than that, I'm just going to be here mixing, doing a whole lot of single flavor tests, and you can always hit me up on Messenger, and I hang out in Zoom a lot and mix with friends late at night. If you're a night owl and you can't sleep and you just want to hang out and talk about whatever, I'm here. That's it.
Cool. Well, thanks for hanging out. It was fun.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
having me.
All right, gang out there, keep an eye on everything. Answer all the calls to action. Join CASA. Just for consumers, CASA, if you're a business owner, VTA, American Vaping Association, you're more geared towards the manufacturers, the shop owners, stuff like that. But as a consumer, go to CASA, join up. It doesn't cost you a dime. If you want to donate, they'll be more than happy to take your money. They're even on Facebook now and have individual Facebook groups for every state. And they're actually looking for moderators in most states because before they started asking, they had like one moderator for like 51 Facebook groups. And so
I'm asking anyone's book.
Yeah, she was a little busy, so now she's.
The other thing with advocating, guys, look, take a day off.
Yeah. Really
take a day off, but please don't stop. You're going to get bombarded for weeks, probably months. So we're settling in for a long fight. Yeah. So please take the time, and when you're doing things, have your facts. All right, fight with facts. Don't get angry. Be polite. Fight them with facts. because that is the best thing you can do. If you start getting all antsy and shit like that, then it doesn't do the cause any favors or yourself. You tend to get upset with that as well. So just be polite and throw out facts. The more medical studies, etc., that you can link to, the better off it is. If you can link a direct source rather than an article about that source, it's always a better, it has more impact to link a direct source. So if you're looking for direct sources, I will be posting Addy's list on ELR a bit later on this afternoon. So I'll probably add a couple more sources to studies and stuff like that as well. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, guys, don't give up. Please don't give up. Even if you think it's a done deal, don't give up.
Exactly. And let's say they're talking sometime November, which would get a little chilly, but you know, it'd be worth it. Try to get as many vapors as we can in Washington. We're going to get permits for, they're going to get permits for be literally in front of the White House. So the president, if he's around, he'll actually hear us. Now, everybody, thanks for coming out. Hey, that was a fast 2 hours. That was very quickly. We'll be back next week, and hopefully we'll have some good news. And plus, we'll keep on with this beginner mixer series. It seems like everybody's doing these days, but it's needed because there's a lot more people getting into DIY. They may not before have been interested in it, but now they are, and we're here to help. So join the Facebook group, Mix in the Kitchen Facebook group. Answer a couple of quick, easy questions. This way I know you're not a bot and not just a spammer. And you know, ask questions there. The Omis, I know she's got Tam's got a Facebook group. There's all kinds of ones out there. Exactly, Rick.
Homegrown Alchemy.
Yeah, Homegrown Alchemy. That's it. I'm brain cramping.
Yeah, and Down the Rabbit Hole as well, Steve. Don't forget that one.
Yep.
And look, if you know someone that wants to get into DIY, point them to places where they can get help.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to take them on personally. Crowdsource it to ELR or Vaping Community, or there's all the flavors. There's a ton of really good places where, you know, questions can be answered 24/7 because there is a large number of people who mix. So, you know, you don't have to take them under your wing yourself. You crowdsource the help, because there are a lot of people that, when all this settles down and it's all said and done, are going to need direction.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you can crowdsource it, then, you know, it lightens everyone's load. So,
all right,
anyway.
On that note, everybody have a good night, have a good week, and we'll see you all next Saturday night. Bye, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.